It's a story of two communities forever connected through the power of a camera lens and a monstrous storm called Katrina. Even more compelling were the people who captured the images and shared those stories. It all unfolded in a half-hour documentary called Pieces of Paradise, which highlighted the community of Bay St. Louis in the aftermath of the storm. Tonight, how it led to a lasting link between the Midwest and the Gulf Coast.
We are very interested in how students our age from Mississippi have learned to deal with the tragedies of Hurricane Katrina.
They weren't the storytellers that some might have expected to see in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. But down they came, a group of high school students from Ohio, ready to capture and share South Mississippi's story in a documentary called Pieces of Paradise.
It was just amazing to me that they were high school students with the magnitude and the depth of what they were doing. We used to have all the teacher parties over here and crawfish bowls and all that.
This is Liz Bosarge, a teacher at Bay High in Bay St. Louis, telling her story as part of the documentary.
They had an RV and I took them around town and showed them, and I mean they cried with us. I mean they cried just like they were the ones who had lost everything.
Bay High was adopted by the students of Hoover High School in North Canton, Ohio. The Ohio students raised more than $14,000 to help Bay High. But instead of just donating resources, the students donated their skills as aspiring broadcast journalists to reach out to the people of Bay St. Louis. Their efforts, according to former principal Marcia Alexander, created a special connection with students attending Bay High at the time.
I think it was really touching for the kids because they, like you say, they were able to tell their story in their own terms to somebody that understood from their perspective, being a young person also.
I know for experience, I had 3 of my athletes who rode out the storm and did not talk about it, and they opened up, and their dad told me that if it wouldn't have been for them, they don't know if he could have ever gotten his daughters to, to talk about it.
Students like Brittany Wasco, seen here, say they appreciated the opportunity to be there for the students of Bay High. She still speaks fondly of the bonds formed during that trip.
It was an experience of a lifetime. Not many kids my age could say that they have done something like this. So just the student-student connection was what made the experience so special.
It's a connection former Bay High student and now college freshman Chloe Harville felt during that 7-day visit.
I think it made everyone feel really special, and especially, I mean, there were a lot of people who didn't understand how bad the storm was, and to have a group of kids come down who got it and they didn't just understand that it was a bad storm, but they wanted to share with people in their community and share with other people through, their skills, which was video broadcast.
So we were hanging on a pine tree right here.
Upon completing the documentary, the students returned to Bay St. Louis. Nearly 500 people came out of their FEMA trailers to watch the half-hour documentary and share stories after the viewing. Tom Wilson, a video production teacher who came down with the students, remembers it as a poignant moment.
For me, that was probably the most impactful moment on me. I realized that through this medium that we teach kids every day, they truly can have an impact. And that's what it's all about from our standpoint. And then from there, it just became relationships that we've maintained with people even 5 years later.
I just think that the ladies and gentlemen from Hoover High School will always be remembered by those students that they worked with and by the people here in this community. I think they did the whole community a favor in that video.
And the student goal, of course, was to share what was going on in the lives of those following Hurricane Katrina. Well, they accomplished that goal. Here you see a photo of the documentary's premiere in Ohio. It also aired on public broadcast channels. And the students were also honored for their work. There you see right there. They were actually nominated for a regional Emmy for their documentary on Bay St. Louis.
While the trial was underway this afternoon, Michael Porter's daughter actually left the courtroom to go to a very emotional meeting with some Moss Point High School students. Crystal Allen continues our team coverage tonight.
This is not something that occurs every day. This doesn't represent us.
Just because we sit in a classroom with them does not mean that we're that same person.
The city of Moss Point does care.
I just wanted to say thank you, and I really appreciate it.
The meeting didn't last long, but the bond is already beginning to form.
I love these kids, not even knowing who they are, and my dad has always taught me,
to not judge a book by its cover. And, you know, this book is Moss Point, and I'm not going to judge the pages in the book.
Moss Point students involved with the Superintendent's Advisory Committee invited Brittany Porter to a meeting to share their commitment to nonviolence in her father's memory. Brittany's pain is one visibly felt by the students, by some on a more personal level.
I lost my father some time ago, and you know, just dealing with that is painful, but actually coming out and speaking to others about it is showing that she has some strength.
The students, too, are showing their strength by taking a stand against violence. They will once again hold a nonviolence march, and like the last one, Brittany says her family will be there. Tragedy brought them face to face, but their commitment to a violent-free Moss Point is what will keep this community and this family united.
They're just amazing. I can't speak anything else. I mean, these kids have touched me, and you know, I'd like for them to know that they have, and that they need to continue to touch other people's lives.
Every year there's more and more cars. I'm loving it.
All the cars, they're really cool.
Probably my favorite event of the year. It's worth living on the coast and dealing with the heat the whole year to be able to see these cars, I'll tell you what.